This is a little probability game that I run as a probability investigation, and it's called Throw Sticks. And I believe that some of the game mechanics for this game originate all the way back to an old Native American game. All you need is 3 icy pole sticks and 10 stones. And your first thing to do is to get them to put a pattern on just one side of the sticks. So we want them patterned on one side and then blank on the other. Then the way it works is the 10 stones start in the middle between 2 players, and each player will take turn throwing their 3 sticks. Now, depending on what they get, in this case I've got 2 pattern and a blank, they will earn a certain amount of stones, and they will take those stones into their pile. Then once all the stones have been taken from the center, it becomes like a tug of war. So then they start stealing stones from each other until the winner is the one that ends up winning all the stones. But here's the catch. We don't actually tell the students how many stones they win for each combination thrown by the sticks. That's the whole point of this probability task. It's an investigation for them to work out and decide how many stones should be won for each combination. So once they've got their sticks, your first question is to send them off and ask them to find every possible option that the sticks can be thrown in. And so as their teacher, I just give them one example of how you'd like them to record it. So for example, if I throw my sticks, I would show students how we could use letters to represent what we've just seen. So I'm going to use the letter B for blanks and P for the patterns. So I would record this answer as 1 blank and 2 patterns. So then you'd ask the students to go and find all the possible answers. So as the students investigate, they should end up with something looking a little bit like this, where they've hopefully found that there's 8 solutions altogether. So then we can see that there is only a 1 in 8th chance of having all your sticks land pattern side up. Now over here, 2 patterns and a blank, we can have it like this, pattern, pattern, blank, or we could have 2 patterns and a blank this way, or we could have 2 patterns and a blank this way. So that means that landing with 2 patterns and 1 blank, there is actually a 3 in 8 chance. And then the same thing is true for 2 blanks and a pattern. So we could have blank, blank, pattern, pattern, blank, or pattern, blank, blank. There's a 3 out of 8 chance of having 2 blanks and 1 pattern. And then lucky last, there is only one way. So we have a 1 in 8th chance of there being all blanks. So once students have done this, this is where the fun begins, because now they have to decide, based on these 4 different possible answers, how many stones should they win based on what they throw. So if I only throw 1 pattern, how many points should that be worth? And they can assign some points and experiment. So for example, they might decide, well, because patterns are cooler, obviously, than blanks, if you get 3 patterns and there's less chance of doing so, I'm going to reward the player and they're going to win 6 stones. And finally, once the students have decided on some points, they can play test it to see if they like their system or they want to change their points to make the game a little bit more enjoyable. Because if we don't give enough points, it can end up with this long-winded tug and war where the stones just keep going backwards and forwards and it takes forever to get a winner. If they make the points way too high, then you get a really quick game and it's over in 2 rounds and it doesn't really give much chance to build suspense. So they're trying to change and choose points that are going to give the game that optimum amount of turns. So roughly, you want the game to maybe take somewhere between like 10 and 14 turns before it's over. So it's not too quick, but not too slow. So for example, with these points, I flip it, I would get 1 stone. Then my player would flip it. Oh, and they got the triple pattern, so they win 6 stones straight away. Now it's back to my turn. Oh, I've got 2 patterns, so that means I get 3 stones. And now all the stones are gone from the center, so we start taking from our opponent. So they've only got 1, so they would steal 1 from me. I would steal that 1 back. And again, they've been super lucky and won 6 stones. I've only got 4 left, so they end up with all the 10 stones and they win the game.